Now, even though I'm normally a video guy, over the last 2 years, I've been obsessed with old school film photos. Just the look. I don't care if it actually has to come from shooting film. It could be on a damn iPhone for all I care. As long as the end result has that film look to it and it looks authentic, I'm all about it. So today we're taking a look at a company that makes a plugin for Lightroom, as well as a plugin for DaVinci Resolve, Premiere Pro, and Final Cut Pro for video. But today we're talking about the photo end of it. Dehancer, which is a plugin for Lightroom Classic. They have a free trial going on right now, so you can try it before you buy it, which I highly recommend that you do. I'll leave links to everything in the description below. So this is the photo that we'll work with today. So in Lightroom Classic, all you do is right click, edit in, and then if you have Dehancer installed properly, you should see it right here in this menu, edit in Dehancer Lightroom plugin. So we'll click that, and hey, you see Dehancer pop right up. And the good thing about Dehancer is it is a non-destructive edit. So let's say you do your little filmic look that you have here and then you don't like it. You don't have to undo everything or revert your copy. Just don't save it, click off of it, you're good to go. None of the edits will go back to your original photo. So we'll start with original and we'll take a quick little look around platform here. So up top on the top left corner, we have films and presets. So you could either just start with a film look or we can go with a full preset and you could save your own presets, which are pretty cool. So if we click on presets here, you could actually come down to this drop down menu and we have all presets, my presets, Dehancer Teams, imported presets. So there's a whole bunch of custom options if you edit a lot of photos. Now, funny enough, this photo shoot was actually all done with the new Fuji X-T50, which is a cool little camera. I didn't even do a review on it yet. Not sure if I'm gonna have time to, but I'm really enjoying this camera. And I decided to just go with the raw files and then really fine tune everything in Dehancer to give it that vintage look. So, I mean, you could basically shoot film looking shots with your iPhone and edit it in Dehancer Photo. And they have this pretty much exact setup in the iOS App Store, so you can edit on your iPad or your iPhone and not even need Lightroom. It's just its own standalone app. So I'm really enjoying what Dehancer is doing out there. So let's go to original here. Let's go over to films only. Before we add everything like grain and halation and bloom, we'll just come right over to our film look, which is just gonna be our standard look. We'll check on the film profile, and as you can see here, we could filter it out. Again, we can go by all films, favorites, color negatives, motion picture, color positives, black and white, instant, exotic, and cross. And then we can come down to our profile here and you can see all the different film looks that they have here, and it's fantastic. And we'll settle on the ever so popular Kodak Portra 160. And then we can come over to the right side of the panel where we have all our effects and adjustments that we're able to make. So we can come here and toggle on film developer. The next section here is film compression, and we can control our impact, our white point, our tonal range. We have color density. Below that is expand, where we can play with our black and white points and our color modes. I always leave it to normal. Next up is the print section, which is gonna have a big impact on how your photo looks all around. We have Kodak Endura glossy paper. We have the popular Kodak 2383 print film, which you're gonna see a big difference. 3, 2, 1. Boom. And we can come up to Fujifilm 3513 print film, and then we can go with linear. Next up, we have a section that I personally kind of stay away from, which is the color head. It's just not how my brain works when it comes to color correcting and getting a look that I'm looking for. I guess maybe because I learned how to color grade video before I really learned how to work with photos and raw images. And I learned the DaVinci Resolve, and yes, you have similar tools that will get the same results as color head, but this doesn't work for me. So you have your yellow blue slider. Yellow and blue are on opposite sides of the color wheels. I'm gonna go towards the yellow. We have our magenta green, also again, opposite sides of the color spectrum. So if we go more towards the green, we can bring in a little bit more green, or we could bring in a little bit more magenta. And then we could fine tune it by working with the shadow tones, the mid-tones, and the highlight tones. Below that, we have a popular section that honestly, you could just create your own look and then bring it into Dehancer and really only add film grain to it, because the film grain on Dehancer is that good. And then we can come down here, have it checked. I like to stay either in 35mm 50 or 65mm 50, but then you can come up here to custom, click it, and just literally fine tune everything. So a popular look is kind of bringing almost all of the film grain out of the shadows, little slightly more out of the midtones, and then kind of just leaving that film grain to exist in your highlights. You can control the color of your film grain. You could have it with 0 color. You can make it really saturated. And then we can come down here, which is another popular tool, which is halation. And really where you're gonna see halation is around light edges, even edges of the hair, depending on how the lighting is hitting it. A big popular place where you're gonna see a lot of halation is if you're shooting and there's trees around the branches, around the leaves. And for the most part, if you're gonna use halation, you're probably gonna just wanna subtly dial it in. We'll turn off halation and scroll down. Under that is the bloom effect. So again, we'll come down to bloom. So we'll amplify all the way, and we'll turn our impact up. And as you can see, this is exactly what bloom does if you're already not familiar with it. Again, something you wanna kind of apply gingerly if you're gonna use it. You don't wanna crank it up like I have it here. Turn that off, and below it, finally, we're coming down to film damage. And again, you have your different types of full frame, half frame setups, 35mm, 120 type, and you can choose either one, or you can go with custom. And this is gonna kind of take care of all your little scratch effects that you have here. This typically isn't something that I add to my photos, but to each his own. And lastly, overscan. So this is just gonna basically have a bunch of different scans and some controls over them. And maybe this is something that you wanna do for your setup. This isn't particularly an area that I tend to use that much. Close it out. We're back in Lightroom Classic with all the adjustments that you just made in Dehancer now in Lightroom, and you can make some more adjustments in Lightroom, or you could just export the photo and be good to go. Even the iOS app is fantastic. I'll go in, I'll get some shots with my iPhone, shoot them in Pro Raw, go into Lightroom, make some quick little adjustments, export that file in a high quality file, and then go and import them in Dehancer Mobile, which crazily, not a word at all, crazily enough, you can color grade your Apple log footage or just your standard non-log footage. If you have it on your iPhone, you can color grade it right in Dehancer Mobile. This is actually a product that I actually use. I highly recommend it. I'm getting no kickback, no money for it. They just send me the plugin. I'm allowed to use it for life. I'll leave links down below if you want to check it out for yourself. Thumbs up, subscribe, all that good stuff. Let me know in the comment section below what you think about Dehancer. Have you used it before? If not, are you going to start using it? Let me know. I'll talk to you guys later. Solo!